What up, y'all? This is Tracy from Nerd Squish, and today we're going to talk about Halloween Horror Nights 2024. Alright, y'all, it's the first Halloween Horror Nights video of the year. I mean, come on. I got my hair done, I got an icy. Life is good. Oh yeah. So what prompted me to make the very first HHN video of the season is that we got our first actual announcement of the year. Don't get too excited because it's literally just tickets and dates. But the exciting thing is that the event will be pumping fog through the parks earlier than ever this year. The event will kick off August 30th and run through November 3rd. As of right now, you can purchase single night tickets starting at $82.99, express passes starting at $129.99, RIP tour starting at $359.99, and Behind the Screams, The Unmasking the Horror Tour starting at $99.99. So we may not have like a whole lot going on here, but the fact that speculation and announcement season has begun, boy, I'm excited. Like, I'm feeling jazzed, you know what I'm saying? It's like I can already smell the fog. Now, another little piece of the puzzle has dropped, that being merch. So this is exciting because we're getting that one little glimpse, that little hint that the event is coming. So we're stoked. However, this design is it's interesting. We have the Universal Studios archway with palm trees and pumpkins, and the tagline, "Where Horror Lives," spray painted graffiti style. And I mean, I guess it's kind of cool that they're doing something a little bit different that stands out amongst the rest of the Halloween Horror Nights designs that we've seen previously. But I'm not a fan. It's giving 2000s pop punk band. It's giving Blink-182. It's giving Avril Lavigne. And because my brain immediately went to a decade, all I could think about is how they've been doing, you know, these decade situations with the vamp scare zones. And I thought to myself, well, what if they're doing like a 2000s pop punk type deal with the vamps this year? I mean, there's even a mannequin rocking like the arm warmers and like the chain necklace. I mean, you can't get much more like early 2000s pop punk than that. Everyone get your trip pants with the bondage straps ready, okay? And while in theory this is kind of like a fun concept, it kind of hurts my 35-year-old heart that I am old enough that my teenage years can be a costume. How did I get so dang old? Anyway, I don't think that's the case because usually these early merch design drops really don't have any indication of what's to come. Last year's See You in the Fog design did have a nod to a greeting that a lot of Halloween Horror Nights fans, you know, use in the community, but ultimately really didn't have anything to do with houses or any kind of theme for the year. Now, on to some unofficial business. We got speculations. On March 12th, Halloween Horror Nights posted the very first spec map of the season. Am I a little bit behind on this? Yeah, you know what? I am, but I'm here now. So before we get into the details and break down and speculate on the speculations, if you are a returning viewer, hey, how you doing? Welcome back. And if you're new here, this is Nerd Squish, where we take everything spooky and we take everything nerdy and we squish it all together. So if you like Halloween Horror Nights, horror movies, and pop culture, definitely hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos from us in the future. So first up on this spec map, we have 10 mysterious houses. And when I say mysterious, I mean that because literally we just have a bunch of symbols. Like we have, no names to work with here. So the first one we have to look at is the Soundstage 24A skull. So this cute little skull actually points towards last year's tribute store. In 2023's tribute store, you entered a New York City comic book shop, but were really stepping into the pages of a horror comic titled Tribute to Terror. To go along with this theme, they had 5 different comic book covers that you could choose from to purchase, and they would actually pop you onto the cover. And if you look closely, this little skull was featured on the cover of these comics. Now, the design is like a little bit different. Obviously, this one on the spec map is split in half, black and white, and the one that we see on these comics was just pure white. So, I'm wondering if that has anything to do with maybe they'll go like all out and do like comic book style house, but black and white. Like, that would be pretty cool. Now, I personally did not get to see the tribute store last year as I didn't go to the event, but I love the idea of having a house where you get to step into a comic book. The next house we have on the spec map is this Soundstage 23B with a Cadillac symbol, also with a film reel. Half of these houses have a little film reel, so I am assuming, like everyone else, that this is our IPs. These are the characters that you know and you recognize. This particular symbol is the Cadillac logo, but it's not just any Cadillac logo. It's the one that they specifically used in the 50s, as the symbol today varies a little bit. But you know what that means, right? Ghostbusters. The popular ghost hunters rode around in a 1959 Miller Meteor Cadillac hearse, which, if you watched my Merton Core video, I feel like I've been talking about Miller Meteor Cadillac hearses like a lot lately. I digress. And the Ghostbusters franchise is alive and well with their most recent film in the series, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, currently in theaters. So with the success of the Ghostbusters house back in 2019, they would just be plumb stupid to not bring this franchise back. The next house that we have on our spec map is at Soundstage 22, and it's just a little skull with fangs, again with a film reel. Alright, so clearly we got an IP, so my brain immediately started thinking, okay, what vampire movies are coming out this year? And one of the movies that I'm looking forward to the most this year is actually a reimagining of Dracula's daughter titled Abigail, where a bunch of kidnappers are trapped inside of a house with, well, you guessed it, Dracula's daughter. Which, this could be pretty dang fun, having like a tiny little ballerina vampire just chasing you throughout a house. I think that would be super, super fun. The next house we have on our spec map is at Soundstage 23A, and it's just a little picture of South America. Now, rumors have been spreading for a while that the creature from the Black Lagoon was finally gonna get a house at Halloween Horror Nights, and this only confirms that theory. The story of Gilman takes place in the waters of the Amazon. The Amazon River runs through what continent? South America. I could not be more excited for a creature house. For the last couple of years, Halloween Horror Nights has hit it out the park with Universal Monster houses. Every single one has been my favorite of the year. They've been beautiful, they've been grand, but I'm ready to see this scaly little man get his own house. The next house on our spec map is at Soundstage 24B with a little lollipop. So I think this is going to be an original house based off of the Sweet Revenge scare zone. This was a scare zone where a candy company turned children into crazed killers. Now this was a super fun scare zone, and I think it was really, really successful. The fans really liked it, so I think this has potential to be a really, really fun house. The next house on our spec map is located at Fast and Furious, and it is simply titled as Unknown IP. Now I'm thinking this is going to be something from Blumhouse. Blumhouse basically owns horror at this point, and Blumhouse has been a staple at the event for the last couple years, so it's kind of a no-brainer that one of their movies or characters would show up at the event. They even posted this on their Instagram account with Go to Halloween Horror Nights on their 2024 bucket list. Now the question is, which Blumhouse property will it be? The next house in Sprung Tent 3 is a little mute symbol, and again we have a film reel indicating an IP. Now just like everyone else, my best guess for this is that it's going to be A Quiet Place. And that could make sense considering the third film in the franchise is coming out June 28th, 2024. However, I'm thinking maybe it could be Silent Hill. We saw last year with the success of the Last of Us house that we may very well see more video games at this event. The next house we have is at Sprung Tent 2 with Unknown Original. I got nothing.
Because you're a dumbass.
The next house we have is at Sprung Tent 1 with a Minotaur. Now, for those of you that don't know, a Minotaur is a monster from Greek mythology that has the body of a man but the head and tail of a bull. So maybe we're getting like a Greek mythology house? That'd be pretty cool. And the very last house on our spec map is at Sprung Tent 4. We have stars and a moon and that little film reel symbol. Now, a lot of people are speculating that this is going to be a Nightmare on Elm Street house. And that would be pretty exciting if that's the case. However, I don't feel like that's going to be the case. The rights to this franchise have been a hot mess for a long time, so, we'll see. I mean, I would love to see Freddy Krueger, but I don't have a lot of faith that that's what this is. But I also don't have any good guesses for Stars and Moon. I mean, I do think of something like witchy, but I don't know. Next up on the map, we have 5 scare zones with nothing. Just nada. Nice and mysteriously spooky. It looks like we'll have the Death Eaters again at Diagon Alley, which if I go to the event this year, I really want to check this out as I've never gotten to experience the Death Eaters and their glorious Halloween spooky vibes. Then we have 2 shows. We have this fire symbol, which obviously is nightmare fuel. This, pyro and aerial show has become a staple at the event as they've been there for the last 3 years. But then we have a second show, which has an image of a castle and it has a film reel, okay? So this, I don't really know for sure, but immediately my brain is it's going like 1,000 places at once with this. I'm thinking this could be something with all the Universal monsters, and maybe it takes place at Dracula's castle, because then I'm thinking about Beetlejuice's Graveyard Review and how the long-awaited sequel of Beetlejuice is coming out later this year. So maybe we're gonna have a revival of Beetlejuice's Graveyard Review. But I don't know. It's like the Universal monsters in the past, like the houses, I guess were kind of considered an original because they don't necessarily follow a particular storyline from the movies. So I don't know. I don't know if this could be considered like an IP. So another thing that I thought about is Scooby-Doo. We have the characters, Scooby and the gang, in the park as like a meet and greet, but like that's basically it. And I know there's like some weird, maybe like rights situations or something because like Scooby-Doo is featured in like other parks. So I don't know where that lies, but I'm thinking how friggin' cool would it be to have like a Scooby-Doo stage show where they're solving mysteries in a castle. I'm there. I'm living for this idea. Okay, that was a lot. Oh, that blue raspberry icy was hitting. Sorry, I said a lot of words and I needed refreshment. So that is all the announcements and speculations that we currently have for Halloween Horror Nights 33. And man, oh man, am I excited. Speculation and announcement season is here. Speculation season is honestly sometimes more fun than the actual event because I feel like a little detective, trying to make fetch happen with all these little hints that probably don't mean a damn thing. So stick around because I'll be nerding out about every single announcement, every single spec map until August 30th when that beautiful, delicious fog is rolling through the park. What are your theories for this spec map? Do you have any interesting guesses? Leave them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so when new videos hit the channel, you'll be notified. And as always, thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you nerds in the fog!